The James Webb Space Telescope has again surprised both scientists and the general world with a find that has fueled wonder and a profound, increasing sense of foreboding. It was not about some faraway galaxy or stars being born some billions of light-years distant. It was something much more disturbing. A sighting that calls into question not just our knowledge of the universe but our place in it. Before we go in for this spine-tingling revelation, don't forget to subscribe and like for more science news, where discovery and mystery meet. It started innocently enough, a routine deep-field observation of a distant part of the universe. Webb, operating as it was intended to look further and deeper than ever before, was trained on a spot of sky so far away that no earthly device could even dream of seeing it. It was gathering information from the earliest eras of cosmic time, light that had taken more than 13 billion years to arrive, from a mere few 100 million years after the Big Bang. These observations were routine procedure. The aim was to gaze into the primeval eras of cosmic evolution and gain a better appreciation for how the first galaxies came into being. But when, in one of these sweeps, Webb sensors produced data so aberrant, so patterned, that the research team first believed it had to be some kind of calibration flaw or sensor malfunction. But it wasn't. Rather, Webb had recorded a configuration of light never before observed, a geometrical symmetrical formation of glowing objects arranged with mathematical exactness across cosmic distances. Visualize a grid or lattice, but in larger than galactic proportions. This was not gravitational chaos. This was order. And it wasn't only the symmetry. The distances between all sources of light were equal. The angles between them were reflections of each other with a precision that seemed almost supernatural. This was no random convergence or statistical fluke. This resembled design. Webb's sensitive infrared array was picking up spectral data, and what came out was even more mystifying. The light emissions had modulated, rhythmic patterns. These were not the wild pulses of quasars or the binary flashes of variable stars. These were stable, repeating signals with tightly held intervals, far longer than any known natural process could support over cosmic time. These modulations in the spectrum displayed harmonics, such as a tune played out across the fabric of space. A message, maybe. Or at least something that transmitted more than plain energy. The scientific community sprang into action immediately. Calls went out throughout observatories on the planet and in space. Astrophysicists, mathematicians, AI modelers, cryptographers, and signal analysts assembled ad hoc working groups. It was all hands on deck. Was this proof of a megastructure? Of a Dyson swarm? Or something entirely outside our existing models, intergalactic scale computation, for instance? Ideas outpaced data, and yet the one thing was undeniable: this pattern was not accidental. It had purpose. The stakes of that intent were enormous. If the message was man-made, then its creators must be at the Kardashev Type 2 or even Type 3 level, civilizations that can tap the power of whole stars or galaxies. Such an entity, or collection of entities, would tower over human potential. Our whole planetary output would be dwarfed by comparison, like a matchstick's glow beside the sun. And yet, somehow, we had found their hand. Or perhaps, more ominously, it was intended for us to find. That suspicion unfolded a new series of unnerving questions. Why now? Why us? Was this a test of our maturity in technology? A breadcrumb trail, purposefully set billions of years ago to patiently wait for anyone who would interpret it. If so, what comes next? Maybe even more mind-blowing was the age of the light. This wasn't from a modern civilization. This was old, appearing just after the dawn of the universe itself. If artificial, it would mean that intelligence strong enough to engineer interstellar space erupted at the dawn of time. That would mean someone, or something, might have been observing the universe its entire lifetime. Let that sink in. This is not an exoplanet with an unstable orbit. This is not a radio blip misidentified as a pulsar. This is a geometrically ordered arrangement of galaxies, or galaxy-scale structures, embedded in the deepest observable universe. To accomplish this, to build this, would take patience and foresight entirely foreign to us. Whoever they were, They weren't planning on centuries or millennia. They were planning on eons. This was not a civilization with governments and cities. This was a power of nature pretending to be intelligence. Or maybe, intelligence blurring to the point of indistinguishability with the laws of nature themselves. Is this the great filter of the Fermi paradox? Not an event of extinction, but one of realization, when a nascent species looks upon the actual form of the universe and is faced with the prospect that they were never alone. And then the next surprise. The signal was not steady. As Webb made further observations, scientists saw tiny changes in the modulation. Minuscule changes. Changes that seemed to be correlated not with internal instrument calibration, but with where Webb was sitting in relation to the source. As if the pattern shifted itself. This brought up a frightening hypothesis. What if the signal is dynamic? What if it knows it's being observed? Abruptly, the boundary between observing and participating started to get fuzzy. Webb, with his glance, perhaps initiated the next stage of a conversation. One we hadn't initiated. And one whose eventual destiny we cannot foretell. As investigators excavated the signal structure, they started to find more layers of encoded complexity, thick, hierarchical stacks of data that look like digital compression or quantum error correction. If this is indeed a message, it's not information. It's compressed structure, awaiting uncompression by an intelligence sufficiently advanced. There's a pernicious temptation in decryption, though. What if this is not just a message? What if it holds instructions? Coordinates? An invitation? Or, alternatively, more sinisterly, what if it's bait? It has been suggested that this is some sort of cosmic honeypot, a trap to lure advanced intelligent species. To see who makes it to the level of technology necessary to see and decipher it, and what they do thereafter. After all, if you wanted to find all of the intelligent life in the universe, you wouldn't have to send scouts out. You'd simply construct something so sophisticated, so blindingly obvious, that they would come to you. And now, humankind is faced with a choice. Do we answer back? To respond to such a signal would be the most important thing ever done in human history. It would be to unveil our existence to something which could already be far beyond concern, but could well be entirely concerned. There are precedents on Earth. Encounters between highly unequal civilizations seldom benefit the less advanced one. Prudence is indicated. But there's also the hope, foolish or not, that such an intelligence may provide knowledge, solutions, or even enlightenment. Still, hope never has been a strategy. There's another layer to this revelation, one that touches our deepest fears. If this signal is real, and if it comes from an intelligence that still exists, then they are still out there. Watching. Waiting. Or perhaps, operating unseen throughout the cosmos. In fact, some astrophysicists now believe this isn't the only signal. Strange alignments in dark matter distributions. Anomalies in gravitational lensing maps. Statistical outliers in background radiation. All of it may form a broader pattern we've been too blind, or too arrogant, to see. James Webb may have just cracked open the door. Behind it can be a web of communication systems of galactic proportions built into the fabric of spacetime itself. An infrastructure that stretches not light years, but eons. A network not aimed to conquer, but to endure. Now, all the telescopes, all the radio dishes, all the particle detectors are on high alert. The search has changed. We're not searching for life anymore, we're searching for meaning in signals we never were supposed to decipher. Or maybe, we always were. Perhaps that's the most frightening suggestion, that we were always part of a grander narrative, one scripted in starlight, and that our blindness has only just started to lift. So what do we do next? Do we just keep watching and deciphering? Do we construct our own response? Do we take a chance on contact? Or do we stay hidden? Because somewhere, far out along the edge of mapped space, something very old might have just realized that we realized. If this journey was interesting to you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for more profound science stories and speculative horizons. Leave a comment below. What do you believe that James Webb Telescope actually discovered? A message from the cosmos? A hidden intelligence? Or perhaps something even more bizarre? Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.